In the heart of the bustling city, where dreams were woven into the fabric of high fashion, Mia stood on the brink of a life-changing moment. At 32, she had clawed her way to the top of the competitive world of fashion design, finally earning the title of creative director at Luxe Fashion. Tonight was not just a celebration of her promotion, it was a declaration of her hard work, resilience, and unwavering spirit. Mia stood in front of the mirror, adjusting the hem of her elegant dress. Today was supposed to be a celebration, a moment to honor her promotion to creative director at Luxe Fashion, a prestigious fashion house known for its innovative designs. At 32, Mia had worked tirelessly to climb the ranks, pouring her heart and soul into every collection. This party was not just a celebration of her success. It was a testament to her resilience in an industry that often favored the established over the emerging. As she stepped into the lavishly decorated dining room, the sound of laughter and clinking glasses filled the air. Friends, colleagues, and industry insiders mingled, all gathered to toast her achievements. But amidst the joy, Mia felt a familiar knot tighten in her stomach. Clara, her mother-in-law, was already there, her presence looming like a dark cloud. Clara had always been critical of Mia, dismissing her career as a mere hobby rather than a legitimate profession. Today, she wore a bright red dress, a color that screamed for attention, just like her personality. As Mia approached, she could see Clara adjusting her pearls, a smug smile playing on her lips. "Darling, I hope you didn't spend too much on this party," Clara remarked, her voice dripping with condescension. "After all, it's just a promotion, not a wedding." Mia forced a smile, her heart racing. She had prepared for this moment, but nothing could shield her from Clara's biting remarks. Today was supposed to be about her, yet Clara was determined to make it about herself, as always. As the evening unfolded, Mia braced herself for the challenges ahead, knowing that this night would be a defining moment in her journey. The party was in full swing, with guests mingling and enjoying the exquisite hors d'oeuvres prepared by a renowned catering service. Mia felt a mix of excitement and anxiety as she moved through the crowd, exchanging pleasantries and thanking everyone for coming. But every time she caught a glimpse of Clara, her heart sank a little more. "Look at this decor," Clara said loudly, her voice cutting through the chatter. "I hope you didn't spend too much on these flowers. They look like they came from the clearance section." Mia clenched her jaw, forcing herself to remain composed. The flowers were hand-picked from a local florist, a detail she had been proud of. But Clara's words were like daggers, aimed to undermine her confidence. "Actually, they're from a boutique florist downtown," Mia replied, trying to keep her tone light. "I thought they added a nice touch." "Touch? More like a distraction," Clara shot back, her eyes glinting with amusement. "But I suppose we can't all have taste." Mia felt the heat rise to her cheeks, but before she could respond, a sudden commotion drew her attention. As she turned, she accidentally knocked over a delicate crystal vase, sending it crashing to the floor. The sound echoed through the room, and all eyes turned to her. "Careful, dear," Clara said, a smirk spreading across her face. "Some of us know how to handle fine things." Mia's heart raced as she bent down to pick up the shards, her palm grazing a sharp edge. A small cut opened on her hand, and she barely noticed the sting as she focused on Clara's satisfied expression. "Let me help you with that." Her best friend Sophie rushed to her side, wrapping a napkin around Mia's hand. "You okay?" "Just peachy," Mia replied, forcing a smile. She could feel the weight of Clara's gaze, the judgment heavy in the air. "Speaking of handling things," Clara continued, her voice dripping with sarcasm, "I told my son he should have let me plan this party. I mean, look at the catering. It's adequate, I suppose, but these plates. Target? Really?" Mia's heart sank further. The plates were hand-painted Italian ceramics, a detail she had been excited to share. But Clara's dismissive tone made it clear that her efforts would never be recognized. "Actually, they're from a boutique in Milan," Sophie chimed in, trying to defend Mia. "They were featured in Architectural Digest last month." Clara's smile tightened. but she quickly waved her hand dismissively. "Let's not discuss business at a social gathering. It's so nouveau." Mia felt a surge of frustration. Clara was not just belittling her. She was trying to erase her accomplishments in front of everyone. As the evening wore on, Clara continued to regale the guests with stories about her son, Jake, Mia's husband, pointedly excluding Mia from every anecdote. Each story was a reminder of her place in Clara's hierarchy, a carefully crafted narrative that painted Mia as the outsider. Something inside Mia shifted. Maybe it was the sting of the cut on her palm, or perhaps it was the realization that she had had enough. "Actually," Mia said, standing up, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside, "I'm not feeling well. I think we should end the evening here." Clara's eyes gleamed with triumph, but Mia met her gaze with unwavering determination. "Thank you all for coming, especially you, Clara. You've made this evening unforgettable." As guests began to gather their things, Mia felt a sense of relief wash over her. She had stood up for herself, and that was a victory in itself. Later that night, as Mia lay in bed, the weight of the evening pressed heavily on her chest. Jake, her husband, was beside her, his face illuminated by the glow of his phone screen. He was scrolling through social media, oblivious to the turmoil that had unfolded just hours before. "I'm sorry about my mom," he said, finally putting his phone down. "She can be a bit much sometimes." Mia turned to him, her heart aching. "A bit much? Jake, she belittled everything I've worked for. It's like she doesn't even see me." He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I know she can be critical, but she means well. She just wants what's best for us." Mia felt a surge of frustration. What's best for us? Or what's best for her? I'm tired of being treated like I'm not good enough. I've worked hard to get where I am, and I deserve to be celebrated, not ridiculed. Jake looked at her, his expression softening. "You're right. You do deserve that. I just wish she could see it too." Mia took a deep breath, her mind racing. She had spent too long allowing Clara's words to define her worth. This was supposed to be a moment of triumph, and yet it had turned into another episode of humiliation. "I've made a decision," she said, her voice steady. "This will be the last time Clara makes me feel small. I'm done letting her undermine my achievements." Jake raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "What do you mean?" "I just got the news today that I'll be leading a major project for Luxe Fashion. It's a sustainable fashion line that's going to make waves in the industry. I'm going to make sure everyone knows it's my vision, my hard work." He smiled, a flicker of pride in his eyes. "That's amazing, Mia. You deserve this." "I know," she replied, a newfound determination surging through her. "And I'm going to show Clara that I'm not just her son's wife. I'm a force to be reckoned with in this industry." As she lay back against the pillows, Mia felt a sense of empowerment wash over her. She was ready to take control of her narrative, to step into the spotlight she had earned. No more hiding in the shadows of Clara's disdain. It was time for Mia to shine. The morning sun streamed through Mia's studio windows, illuminating the sketches and fabric swatches scattered across her desk. Today marked the beginning of a new chapter in her career, and she was determined to make the most of it. The sustainable fashion line she was set to launch was not just a project. It was a statement about her vision for the future of fashion. Mia gathered her team for a brainstorming session, excitement buzzing in the air. Sophie, her closest friend and confidant, was already there, flipping through the designs with a critical eye. "These are stunning, Mia. I love how you're incorporating eco-friendly materials. It's going to resonate with so many people." "Thanks, Sophie," Mia replied, her heart swelling with pride. "This collection is about more than just clothes. It's about making a difference. I want to show the industry that fashion can be beautiful and sustainable." As the team arrived, Mia felt a surge of confidence. They discussed everything from fabric choices to marketing strategies, each idea building on the last. Mia encouraged everyone to share their thoughts, fostering an environment of collaboration and creativity. "Let's make this launch unforgettable," Mia declared, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. We need to create a buzz that Clara can't ignore. I want the press there, influencers, and anyone who can help us spread the word. Sophie nodded, her expression serious. What about Clara? You know she'll try to undermine you at every turn. Mia took a deep breath, recalling the sting of Clara's words from the night of the party. I'm not going to let her get to me. This is my moment, and I refuse to let her overshadow it. I'll invite her, but I won't let her dictate how I feel about my success. As the meeting wrapped up, Mia felt a renewed sense of purpose. She spent the next few weeks immersed in preparations, coordinating with suppliers, finalizing designs, and planning the launch event. Each day brought new challenges, but Mia faced them head-on, fueled by her determination to prove herself. However, Clara was not one to back down easily. Mia soon learned that Clara had been spreading rumors about her, suggesting that Mia was unfit to lead the project. At a recent charity event, Clara had whispered to several influential guests that Mia was merely a decorator in the fashion world, not a true designer. Mia's heart sank when she heard the news from Sophie. We can't let her get away with this, Sophie insisted, her fists clenched. You've worked too hard to let her undermine you. I know, Mia replied, her mind racing, but I won't stoop to her level. I'll let my work speak for itself. The launch will be my chance to showcase my talent and vision. As the launch date approached, Mia poured every ounce of energy into the event. She secured a stunning venue, a rooftop garden overlooking the city skyline, and invited a mix of industry insiders, influencers, and friends. The atmosphere was electric, and Mia could feel the excitement building. On the day of the launch, Mia arrived early to oversee the final touches. The space was adorned with greenery and elegant displays of her collection, each piece telling a story of sustainability and style. As guests began to arrive, Mia's heart raced with anticipation. Are you ready for this? Sophie asked, her eyes sparkling with excitement. More than ever, Mia replied, taking a deep breath. This is my moment to shine. As the event kicked off, Mia welcomed her guests, sharing her vision for the collection and the importance of sustainable fashion. The energy in the room was palpable, and Mia felt a sense of empowerment wash over her. She was no longer the woman who let Clara's words define her. She was a leader, a creator, and a force to be reckoned with. The launch event was in full swing, with guests mingling, sipping cocktails, and admiring Mia's stunning collection. The rooftop garden was alive with laughter and conversation, the city skyline providing a breathtaking backdrop. Mia felt a rush of adrenaline as she moved through the crowd, engaging with attendees and soaking in the positive energy. As the evening progressed, Mia took a moment to step back and observe. She spotted Clara across the room, her expression a mix of disdain and curiosity. Clara was surrounded by a group of socialites, her voice rising above the chatter as she recounted stories from her own past, clearly trying to draw attention away from Mia's success. Look at her, Sophie whispered, leaning in close. She's trying to steal the spotlight. Mia clenched her jaw, but she refused to let Clara's antics ruin her night. Instead, she focused on the guests who were genuinely interested in her work. As she prepared to present her collection, she felt a wave of confidence wash over her. This was her moment, and she was determined to seize it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mia announced, stepping onto a small stage set up for the presentation. The crowd quieted, turning their attention to her. Thank you all for being here tonight to celebrate the launch of my sustainable fashion line, Eco Chic. This collection is not just about style. It's about making a statement and embracing a future where fashion and sustainability go hand in hand. Applause erupted from the audience, and Mia felt her heart swell with pride. She began to showcase each piece, explaining the inspiration behind the designs and the eco-friendly materials used. The guests were captivated, nodding in appreciation as she spoke passionately about her vision. But just as Mia was gaining momentum, Clara decided to make her move. She pushed her way through the crowd, a calculated smile plastered on her face. Mia, darling, she called out, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Isn't this just adorable? A little fashion show in your honor? But tell me, how do you expect to compete with the big names in the industry? Mia felt a surge of anger but quickly composed herself. Clara, this isn't about competition. It's about creating something meaningful. Fashion can be a force for good, and I'm proud to be part of that change. Clara scoffed, her eyes narrowing. Change? You're just a designer playing dress-up. You really think you can make a difference? The room fell silent, all eyes on the two women. Mia could feel the tension in the air, but she refused to back down. Actually, Clara, I believe I can. And I'm not just doing this for myself, I'm doing it for the future of our industry. This collection is a step toward a more sustainable world. The guests murmured in agreement, and Mia could see Clara's facade beginning to crack. You're embarrassing yourself, Clara hissed, her voice low but filled with venom. You don't belong here. Mia took a deep breath, her heart racing. I do belong here, Clara. I've earned my place, and I won't let you take that away from me. This is my moment, and I'm going to shine. With that, Mia turned back to the audience, her voice steady and strong. Thank you all for your support. I'm excited to share this journey with you, and I hope you'll join me in making fashion a force for good. As she finished her speech, the crowd erupted into applause, cheers ringing out in support of her message. Clara stood frozen, her expression a mix of disbelief and fury. Mia felt a rush of triumph as she stepped off the stage, her heart pounding with exhilaration. She had faced Clara head-on and emerged victorious. The guests surrounded her, congratulating her on the collection and expressing their admiration for her courage. "Did you see that?" Sophie exclaimed, her eyes wide with excitement. "You were incredible. You stood up to her." Mia smiled, feeling lighter than she had in years. I finally took control of my narrative. I won't let her define me anymore. As the night continued, Mia reveled in the success of her launch. Clara, on the other hand, was left to stew in her own bitterness, isolated from the crowd. Mia knew that this was just the beginning of her journey, and she was ready to embrace whatever came next. As the evening wound down, Mia felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her. The launch had been a resounding success, and the positive feedback from guests filled her with hope and excitement for the future. She had not only showcased her collection, but had also reclaimed her narrative from Clara's shadow. Mia mingled with her guests, accepting compliments and discussing potential collaborations. The atmosphere was electric, and she could see the interest in her sustainable fashion line growing. It was everything she had dreamed of, and she was determined to keep the momentum going. However, as she scanned the room, she noticed Clara standing alone, her arms crossed tightly over her chest. The once vibrant socialite now looked deflated, her carefully crafted image crumbling in the wake of Mia's triumph. For a moment, Mia felt a pang of sympathy. Clara had always been a formidable presence, but tonight she had been exposed for the manipulative person she truly was. "Are you okay?" Sophie asked, noticing Mia's gaze. "You look like you're contemplating something." I never wanted it to come to this," Mia admitted, her voice softening. "I wanted Clara to see me for who I am, not just as her son's wife. But I guess some people are just set in their ways." Sophie nodded, understanding. "You've done an amazing job tonight. You've shown everyone your strength and talent. Clara's opinion doesn't matter anymore." Mia took a deep breath, steeling herself. "You're right. I need to focus on what's ahead, not what's behind me." As the last guests began to leave, Mia felt a sense of closure. She had faced her fears, stood up to Clara, and emerged stronger than ever. The journey had not been easy, but it had been worth it. The following week, Mia received a call from a prominent fashion magazine requesting an interview about her new collection and her vision for sustainable fashion. She couldn't believe it. This was the exposure she had been hoping for. "Guess who's going to be featured in Fashion Forward?" she exclaimed to Sophie, who was sitting across from her at their favorite cafe. Are you serious? That's incredible, Sophie squealed, her excitement infectious. You're going to be a star. Mia laughed, feeling a mix of disbelief and joy. I can't wait to share my story and the message behind Eco Chic. This is just the beginning. As the days turned into weeks, Mia's collection gained traction, and she found herself invited to more events, panels, and discussions about sustainable fashion. She was no longer just a designer, she was becoming a voice for change in the industry. One evening, as she prepared for another event, Mia received a text from Jake. Mom wants to meet for dinner. She says she wants to apologize. Mia's heart raced. Part of her was hesitant, but another part was curious. What do you think? She texted back. Maybe it's time to clear the air, Jake replied. You've both been through a lot. Mia took a deep breath, contemplating the possibility of reconciliation. Okay, let's do it. But I'm going to be honest with her. At dinner, Clara arrived with a tentative smile, her demeanor noticeably different. Mia, I'm sorry for how I treated you. I've been reflecting on my behavior, and I realize I've been unfair. Mia felt a mix of emotions, relief, skepticism, and a hint of hope. Thank you for saying that, Clara. I appreciate it. But I need you to understand that I'm not just Jake's wife. I'm a designer, and I'm proud of what I've accomplished. Clara nodded, her expression sincere. I see that now. I want to support you, not undermine you. I was wrong. As they talked, Mia felt a weight lift off her shoulders. Perhaps this was the beginning of a new chapter, one where she could forge her own identity while still being part of the family. As she left the restaurant that night, Mia felt empowered. She had faced her fears, stood up for herself, and found her voice. The journey ahead was bright, and she was ready to embrace it, one design at a time.